Shalom, my name is Yoshua Yaakov ben Avraham. I'm making this video from Jerusalem, and let's call the name of it Humanomics Science and Technology Process of the Redemption of Man and Mankind. The purpose of this is to say that more than a philosophy or an idea, redemption is not a philosophy. And it's accessible now, in fact only accessible, in and through new science and technology that is derived from Humanomics. Okay, so let's begin. The idea that man's redemption is not merely philosophy is correct, therefore. And its validation is now accessible as a process through, yep, you guessed it, Humanomics. Humanomics is a trilogy. It's comprised of two paradigms: its central organizing principles, receive and to give, which is a new cognitive behavioral science first principle, and the new integration of labor, which is a new economic paradigm. Okay. And through Humanomics, man's ascent in the cognitive identity resolution process is the way we access redemption individually. Okay. Paragraph, this process underscored of man and mankind's redemption is now proceeding globally. So we've got to get all on the same page, folks. And it now brings the end of man's exile. That's the beginning of man's new era of postmodernity. So the era of modernity has ended, and we're in the post-modernity era, the era of post-modernity. Okay, this was/is confirmed by the collapse of the local reality globally. That was what? Giving to receive. I give, I get. That's what it meant. And that's the local reality that collapsed globally that has brought the new Kabel B'Shvil Tet, which is Hebrew for receiving to give. While man now ascends as a process, and I keep emphasizing it's a process, parenthetically, to inhabit the new Kabel B'Shvil to receive to give, as the new era of postmodernity that is the traditional spiritualist order of man's redemption. Okay, so that means we have, for secular, we have the anthropocentric humanism, and for the religious, we have traditional spiritualism. Okay, so those pretty much two models of cognition converge in redemption. Okay, that's really what we're saying here. Only after we end the denial of the collapse of the lower globally in man's cognitive sin, only then is it possible, okay, once we end the denial, only after man ends the denial of the collapse of the lower reality is his cognitive ascent possible after deconstruction in general, and man's particular ground zero, which is followed by his deprogramming of the mind and thus exile's identity. Of what was man's giving to receive, which again meant I give, I get. Okay, that's finished. This transformational process has four major phases. Phase 1 is the chaos to complexity. Phase 2 is the complexity to convergence. Phase 3 is the convergence to comprehension. And phase 4 is the comprehension to healing and habitation. Okay, today we must now move beyond the search and pursuit of goals and outcomes as are sought, as they actually can deliver precious little to remedy the situation. What is now needed is to recognize the underlying process that is now proceeding globally and to comprehensively commit to the now compelled transformations essential to realizing the solutions that are needed. Okay, so that's the difference. We've got to recognize that fixing economies won't work, okay, because there's something much more fundamental involved here. Okay, therefore what? This is since solutions are needed on the psychosocial, behavioral, cognitive, psycholinguistic levels within all the nations, regions, cities, and communities, for all their families, and most importantly for all individuals. This now requires Humanomics' new East-West convergence model for the post-collapse era of the local reality globally. This macro, multi-level, culture-specific solution, Macrotech, that's the company we own that has the exclusive license from the Eliakim Trust, which is the nonprofit organization, which my life's work I put into a public trust. So the public owns it, so it derives the benefit from it, and Macrotech has the exclusive rights to develop it and we will seek for naturally the IRS is a 501c3 to make it nonprofit so people can contribute to its development tax-free. And secondly, we will seek from the IRS, from the Treasury, a status to be approved by a congressional mandate for government services enterprise to build a world-class global technological infrastructure, develop and implement Humanomics, the trilogy. That's the post-collapse delivered globally solution to the underlying problem. That's what we're talking about. No more band-aids. Okay, so let's end this video with saying the process of man-to-man contradiction is often thought of to be either religion or philosophy or both by some people, while it's now deliverable only through Humanomics' new science and technology, whose central organizing principle is compelled we should receive to give, in particular, and also through its parallel new economic paradigm first principle, which is the integration of labor, which is what replaces the historic industrial revolution model of the division of labor. And this is what we're now branding globally. I'm Yeshua Yaakov bin Avraham from Jerusalem. I'm the author of the trilogy. Forgive me for all my halting. Everybody's been complaining that they want much more coherent messaging and scripts. So, okay, that's what you have, and it's the best I could do. I'll try to do better. Thank you for listening. And I'll remind you, there are four. The process of redemption has four phases. Phase 1, chaos to complexity. Phase 2, complexity to convergence. Phase 3, convergence to comprehension. And phase 4 is comprehension to healing and habitation in the quantum reality, which is redemption. And its central organizing principle is the new cognitive behavioral science approach received to give. That's the central organizing principle of Humanomics' new East-West convergence model. Thank you for listening. I'm Yeshua Yaakov from Jerusalem.